Welcome back to Bonanza Disc Golf. I have a little bit of a confession to make to you guys. If you guys watched my last season tournament vlogs, you saw me throwing a blue disc all over the place. It was a grace, and I love my graces. But as I am training, I'm hoping my arm speeds up a little bit, that those graces, even the most stable ones, will be a little flippier than what I need for a lot of my distance categories. But one disc that I've noticed every open bag pro, basically, most of them at least, are throwing are Halo Destroyers. And so I wanted to actually take a look to see what the difference is between the 2021 run, which shout out Terminal Velocity. They make the Ursus, which I bag right now, but they're also a retailer. And he just posted about the 2023s. So I was like, hey, do you have any 2022s and 2021s? And he was able to hook it up for a decent price. The Calvin Heimberg Destroyer here, 2021. The 2022, this is the Jonesboro one, but it's made same time. This is the 2022 run. And then 2023, the one that just came out. I wanna see what the differences are between these. We're gonna throw them actually into a field, flat, Anheuser and Heiser, see how far we can launch one, and then see if this is something that might wanna go in my bag by also playing 3 holes with them that we interplay between all of the field work. Now, to be honest, right now I'm a little bit of a noodle arm, and so I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to throw these super far, and I might have to do a follow-up to this when my arm speeds up to about 450 to 475 of distance. I think probably with all of them, we'll be able to push about 400. It is a slight downhill, but the 2021 right here, this one is a really cool stamp. I don't know why, but this offset from the center looks so good. This one is the most pop-toppy by far. Very domey and stiff. I think that's why it feels the most pop-toppy, because these other ones are similar amounts of dome. Yeah, they have almost the same amount of dome, but this one is a little bit less pop top. It's just not as stiff. It feels like a little lighter around the top. And these are all max weight, 173, 175, 173, 175, 173, 175. This one, the newest run, actually feels the most gummy out of all of them. So I'm not sure if that's gonna mean it's gonna be a little bit less stable, but that's definitely what we're gonna see. And it's a little less domey, just slightly, than both of the other runs. The parting lines, honestly, are pretty similar on all of them. And the Halos are probably where Innova puts a lot of their focus because it's pretty popular. Like, these are very popular molds. It's these and Sexton Firebirds. Like, I feel like those are the discs, at least for players who have relatively decent arm speed, or just players who want to act like the pros and throw 300 feet and try to rip over on one of these. So we'll definitely see. And I'm gonna do my best to throw these all the same from just in line of this tree and just throw them flat down there. All right, we'll go ahead and start with the 2022, because I have the least presuppositions about that one. I feel like the 2023 is gonna be less stable and the 2021 is gonna be more stable, because a lot of pros are throwing 2021s for their super overstable slot. Just throw flat. Okay, that will be our Heiser shot, slight Heiser, not flat. We'll throw the other one slight Heiser too. Just kind of holds and kind of digs. Not a big skip, because I think if I threw it flat, it'd be a big skip. We'll throw the 2021, same amount of Heiser. Huh, similar. That honestly kind of looked like it flipped up a little more. No, that might be a little more stable. It's kind of similar spot, a little more left. And now the 2023, for some reason, this just feels like it won't pop top like the other two will at all. And it feels just a lot gummier. So I imagine it's gonna go a little farther. No, very stable still. That one's on top of the Jonesboro one. They're all pretty close. All right. They do all feel like they're gonna fly pretty similar. And I haven't really heard before that like Destroyers are notoriously different run to run. Like, I haven't heard of people being like, oh, I need to find a 21 Destroyer versus a 23, where people are like, oh, I need to find a 2019 Sexton Firebird. Honestly, a part of me in making this video is I definitely wanna see if there's differences, but I also just kind of want 3 Halo Destroyers for my overstable driver. I don't know if this will be as overstable as I want for my very overstable like Windfighter. I don't think I'll get turn out of them right now, but I think that they'll just hold flat for a while. On Heiser, though, is definitely the place you're gonna see the least variability out of all of them. 2023 did go farthest. 2021 is a little more left. I might be right that a little less, that they kind of just increase in stability as you go back in time, which I think makes sense because stiffness has a lot to do with stability, I believe. 358 from this one, 343, 345. I'm just gonna throw them back on Heiser. I would love to forehand these for you guys, but my forehand, I'm just trying to keep my body safe. I just wanna see if one more Heiser, if there's much of a difference that I can tell. Terrible throw, terrible brace. That's better. They're all destroyers. All right, so here's our first hole. We're gonna explore the hyzer line. It should be good. Honestly, might need to be slightly flat to hyzer. I did actually already shoot the second hole, but I think it exemplified my problems with throwing flat. As you saw with these throws, which were meant to be flat and then turned into hyzers. I think I'm gonna go the low hyzer route. And we're gonna start with the 2021 and move our way up into the years. Okay, did not go where I wanted it to go. Oh no! Better, not good though. Yes. Wow. The reason I want to like these destroyers a lot for that super overstable slot, if I can find that out, is I want an 11 or 12 speed because 13 and bigger can come out of my hands a little bit weird just because my hands are so like a little baby hand, because you can just find any stability of the destroyer. You can find so many plastics and stabilities in them that, I don't know, I feel like a lot of companies mold after the destroyer. All right, now to throw them flat, we're actually just gonna throw them in order, 2023, 2022, 2021 this time, because I did the opposite last time, and maybe relative strength was a part of that, but it just feels so good. You could just dig into this one. Slight anhyzer and nose up, but that is down there compared to the other shots. Just gonna try to recreate that shot. Yeah, those are pretty flat. They're just going to the right, which is another issue in and of itself. Those are kind of decent. Okay, that one I think had more anhyzer, but it also held it. That's confusing for sure. That's why I wanted to throw them out of order from the first couple times I did, because I think a part of it might be that those are all definitely came out of my hand with a slight anhyzer, which might honestly be as close to flat as we're gonna get for me today. I'll try to throw them flat back for sure. I was surprised that 2021 held over. I might have thrown the nose angle was probably a little bit better and just kept it down and penetrating the whole time, whereas the other ones were not. But I hope we touched 400 with these. Probably a little short of that still, because I'm not trying to like rip them. Just throwing what would be golf lines if I was able to hit lines accurately right now. But that's the reason I wanted to do them in reverse order of what I did before, because it might have also been that my extra power came from throwing that one last and like having warmed up a little bit on the other throws. All right, these are all pretty good ways. The 2023 was definitely the most nose up out of all of them. 383, 407 from the 2022. Not bad, because that wasn't even quite the biggest bomber that I could get, like throwing a really big anhyzer shot. This one is pretty good. This one might be 410, 420. 409, awesome. Just gonna throw real fast, another flat shot back. That's flatter. Slight hyzer. Man, getting it perfectly flat is not easy. Not a lot of hyzer though, so that's pretty good. These definitely aren't like super beefcakes, I don't think. I think they can handle wind and torque. I think you just gotta, a lot of handling wind is getting your nose angle right, which is not happening for me right now. 2023. Very flat. Pretty decent nose angle. They really are flying very similarly, which is good. That's good for the consistency rumors that, not rumors, but like everyone accuses Innova of being inconsistent. And maybe they are with like their star line or whatever, but I think for the Tour Series Calvin ones, they kind of have been spot on for these 3 years at least, which is pretty impressive if you think about it. I set you guys up so you could see the basket all the way through that tree gap, but we got a very straight fairway that finishes right at around 380 feet. That's pretty long for me in general right now. Odd man out goes first. 2022, Jonesboro. It's nose slightly up. It's a little short. That's hyzer. Oh, I'm so good at throwing discs. Oh, that skips so much. Oh, it's kind of nose down actually. Touch of Annie. Okay, those are all in very similar spots. They're all a little short because I didn't try to juice them, and I think I needed to get 390 in a skip. I was telling my wife earlier, I was like, I kind of got a noodle arm compared to where I need to be. But it's not like a spaghettini, it's like a soba, you know? It's still a noodle, but it's a little thicker, like a linguine. I'm like a linguine arm. Oh. Way high. Awesome. All right, back for the final round of throws. We're gonna go Anheuser for all of them. The biggest key here is keeping the nose down when throwing Annie, which is not a simple task. The big thing is following through downwards. So, see what we can do. I'm hoping we can touch 425 to 450. I'm not confident in that. We're gonna start with the 2022, then 2021, then 2023. They've all been very similar so far with like very slight differences, which honestly might come down to throws or colors, because I'm not a robot. And let me know real fast before I throw this, if you guys wanna see more reviews like this, where we incorporate a little field work. I'm thinking when I move to Denver, and there's a lot of stuff that I wanna do to make my content a little bit better when I have an office and a home base. So I have some plans for some really cool stuff, and even just how to level up the stuff I already do. So 2022 first, a little Anheuser. Just held and flattened. All right, need a little more height. So we're gonna go 2021 next. A little poppy toppy. Yeah, still never really got out of it, but these are definitely very overstable. That one came out of it. Oh, baby, that's a bomb. Oh my gosh. That was far. I think I put a little less angle down on that one and just threw a big Anheuser flex shot instead of an Anheuser that would go into the ground like I did with the other two. We'll have some throws back to see. I think that one might be 420 though. All right, this one never got out of it, so I'm not super worried about checking it. The other one, the 2021, hit the tree, came back here. The last one kind of was boom sauced because I got the angle right, crazy. Here, we're gonna put you guys right behind it and we'll range. I'll range from it and then I'll show you the range because it sounds electric. There you go, this is where we are. I think this one might be 420 at least. Not insane, and definitely a lot more to go, but. Ooh, 445, let's go. Oh yeah, you cannot see anything. Oh wait. Set up. Yeah, you can't see anything, sorry. It was ranging 444 to 445, slightly downhill. That's not a bad rip at all. I'm gonna back us up. Actually, I'm gonna put us a little bit further ahead. I'm gonna see where we range to and then just throw from here. Oh, I put it in meters somehow. How did I put it in meters? We are in meters. We're ranging to 131 meters. Remember where I'm standing, I gotta multiply that because I'm a stupid American, times 3.218. Or 281, 3.281. 430 feet from right here. Yep, get out of it, dude. Huh. I mean, it got kind of far. I really thought that would get out of it. These aren't like crazy beef, which is, I think if my arm speeds up another 50 to 100 feet to where I'm throwing like flat ground, flat shots 450, these will be really good bomber discs because they'll be just overstable drivers. Then I can have some other destroyers for other slots, but I think I'll still need an even more overstable disc. Unless there's like a really overstable destroyer that someone has that I need. Because these are all pretty similar. They're all pretty similar, like overstable bombers, not overstable discs. Oh, that's nose up. I felt that come around. I slipped a little on that pull through. Well, oh, that's so trash. All right. This one might have to make my bag if I throw another bomb with it. Yeah, it's just simpler. Not a good shot. Really nose up. But we're going uphill, so. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with that. Nothing crazy. I think that's an interesting realization that like, I think if you're not throwing around 400, these will definitely be overstable drivers for you. If you're tapping out around 325, 350 for sure, I think they start to become a lot more usable when you're throwing around as far as I am, and they become very usable when you're throwing farther than me, which hopefully I'm throwing farther than me in like 2 months. because I'll finally have some training time. But let's get on to the last hole and give you my final thoughts after that. Really fun discs. I think they're probably gonna make my bag, at least one of them, for my overstable driver, not my overstable utility. I think that's where it is. The overstable driver versus overstable utility. These are overstable drivers. Hopefully I didn't mess this up and get the wrong discs or whatever, because destroyers are something that can get me yelled at in the comments for sure. All right, we've been playing so good so far, at least showing that these don't have much of a difference. You just have to throw them correctly. This hole is one of the toughest on the track. It is 430 feet. Man, I would love to have the power to just go up and around. But we're gonna have to throw a slight Annie that flexes between the small gap down there between the big tree. I have never birdied this hole. I've only played it like 3 times, but we're gonna start with the 2023. There's a slight tail left to right. Not the worst wind for this shot, especially with an overstable disc. Just get a good hold of it. Don't try to do anything fancy, be smooth. That's some Annie. Get back, please. All right, that's good. I think that's where you gotta trust these discs to be overstable, because that could have gone over the water. I think a little bit inside, that's a pretty good line. Yeah, that's decent. It's gonna be short, but it's decent. At least it didn't hit anything. That's actually probably gonna be a putt. It didn't finish as straight as it could have to get a straight skip, but straight enough to skip a little straight. And now last one, a little tailwind. Okay, that's a lot more Anheuser, a lot better. And an all right shot, nothing crazy, nothing crazy. I think we'll have 2 circle 2 putts, which is pretty good. As someone who's throwing 370 to, we'll say 395. I'm not gonna claim that 400-foot number. If someone's throwing around those distances, these do not have much of a difference. I think if you start to creep into Calvin territory, who these are made for, they probably are different. And I think if I was to compare them against just normal Star Destroyers, I would definitely see a difference, because I have a Star Destroyer that I've been throwing a bit, and it flies much more like my Graces, and these are much more stable than that. We'll chip up with the one we smacked the tree and get a couple nice birdies, finally birdie this hole. Even if it is on like a 2nd or 3rd shot, I don't really care, count it. Get stable. I'm pretty happy with these. These are not the right discs for the shot shape on this hole for my arm speed right now. So to have to force them over a little bit, not super comfortable. Birdie though. Let's go. Oh, that's right. Not enough Heisa. Don't putt with destroyers. As it is, I'm pretty happy to know that these are pretty consistent from run to run. They do feel a little different, like this is stiffer, but it flies similar. This is way gummier, but it flies similar. I would say that this one feels like it's gonna be a little more stable in the air. Like, this is what I put in for my stable slot, if only because it is stiffer, and that makes me think it's more stable. Not exactly sure if that makes any sense, but if you wanna check out another distance driver video where we looked at what was my favorite disc at the time, the Latitude 64 Grace, check that out right down. They're really pretty too. And buying them off Innova was like 21 bucks. That's like really good price, honestly, compared to a lot of other Tour Series. This is really nice distance driver discs, so.